I already know this video gonna piss a lot of people off, but at the end of the day, I said what I said. I'm not changing nothing that I said. I'm not even sure if I'm going to continue to review the show. I'll look and see how many views I get. I'll see what the comments are looking like. But this entire episode, if this is what happens every season of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, I understand why I don't watch the show at all. I am beyond, like, it's not even like, oh my gosh, like, I'm thoroughly annoyed from a very genuine place with this entire episode. And I'm so very sorry, but I'm going to be fucking going there as far as race is concerned. I'm so sorry. But it has to be said. The way that Matt handled both of the situations that happened in this show to me is a classic example of, like I keep telling y'all, people being moved. I don't know why, but for some reason, people being so fucking moved by the tears and the angst of a fucking white woman. And it's not even so much about being moved, it's the way that, and of course I'm not talking about all white people, but you have a specific subgroup of white women who know for a fact all they have to do is cry or complain to the manager, and everybody will literally drop everything they're doing to make sure that they're doing okay, that they're the ones that's comfortable. Fuck everybody else. Fuck everybody else's feelings. Fuck how everybody else is affected by it. Fuck all of that. I just want to make sure that you're taken care of. If that wasn't put on full display tonight by Matt in particular, I don't know what more could have been. It was so disgusting to me. And when it gets down to Sarah, at the end of the day, somebody was like, once it went off on Twitter, somebody was like, oh, do all of y'all going in on Sarah finally feel badly? I do not, because I'm still gonna stand by what I said, which is she was being manipulative as fuck. Being extremely manipulative. Point blank period. Everything she did this episode was being manipulative. And I full-heartedly believe that she's going to come back later this season. I really do. I believe she's going to come back sometime this season. Absolutely. Let's fucking start with the beginning. I'm serious, y'all. This episode really, I really don't know if I'm going to be able to watch this show going forward, because I can't support the bullshit that's going on, and I can't sit here and continuously watch this black man sit on this freaking TV show and continuously make dumbass fucking decision to specifically cater to a specific type of woman on this show. It is pissing me off. It's really making me mad. It really is. And I know some people will probably be like, oh, well, it's really not that deep. But when you really want to strip everything away from it, it really is that deep. Because to me, even if I take Matt outside of this situation, it is a classic example of what happens in the real world. Especially the way that everybody, went in on Sarah. That was some real life shit. Let's get to it. Because I already know I'll probably last half my audience saying that. But I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say. So, as y'all know, Sarah had passed out or whatever. Now, at first, last episode, I was giving Sarah the benefit of the doubt. I didn't think that she was trying to do it for attention, but at the end of this episode, I absolutely believe she did that shit for attention, because she couldn't handle the fact, now mind you already have a rose, but to me, you couldn't handle the fact that he is interested in other women, like she even said her own self. Your insecurities are popping out to the point to where you are just doing the absolute most. But whatever. He goes to check on her or whatever. And of course, everybody is a little bit in their feelings, because they're like, you already got a rose, and here you are doing the absolute most. So whatever. So then Matt comes back up or whatever. Who did he give his final rose to? He gave it to Kayla. I love Kayla. I think she's amazing. Mari, I told you I don't like Mari. MJ's cool. Anna, who was her name? Kaylee, I think. And then it was between like a couple of the girls, but we was waiting pretty much to see if he was going to give it to Mary Lynn or if he was going to give it to Victoria. And he gave it to Victoria. That is when I originally wanted to turn this TV off, because if y'all don't know, Victoria is a Trump supporter. That's confirmed. There's pictures of her having like the flag in the background. So let me get this right. I'm just saying, from an optic standpoint, outside of everything I said, let's talk about what I said last week. Then we'll go from an optic standpoint. From just a regular, basic, common view point of view, You seen that Victoria was doing any and everything to try to get in your presence and try to do the absolute most in front of you. And then after you have a conversation with Mary Lynn, then Victoria feels the need to bring the situation up. If it was so toxic in the house, why didn't she been tell you a long time ago? She waited to that day in particular, and she waited until after Mary Lynn came out with a flower to go and tell you that bullshit. And instead of you being the smart black man that I'm pretty sure that you are and peeping the bullshit and seeing through all of the nonsense, you straight fell for it. But let me say something from an optics point of view, because I've seen massive people saying on Twitter saying this. In reality, what you did is you gave a rose to a Trump supporter instead of giving it to an Asian woman who really actually did deserve her spot and got kicked out on a lie. You literally took the side. I'm just saying from an optics point of view, you took the side in the word of a fucking Trump supporter. That I'm just saying from an optics point of view, but let's take it outside of that. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying you want to make it that she's comfortable. You didn't even give Mary Lynn a chance to even fucking defend yourself. You just off rip went and believed her. And what I don't understand about this whole situation when it comes to Sarah is, so what I'm gonna get is, first of all, in my humble opinion, I really think that it's production in your ear telling you that you have to keep Victoria for whatever, little character that she is. But the way I look at it is, let's just say you really did want to get rid of Mary Lynn because you felt like she was creating too much tension and too much drama in the house. You didn't think that Sarah was, but how she was behaving? You don't think that she was causing problems within the house? I didn't want to watch it after that. I was so fucking done. So all my notes is very like blah 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 because I don't care. They go on a group date or whatever. Half of the girls go on a group date, and it's like reading like erotic. I don't know, reading erotic shit or whatever. I thought it was a weird ass date. I didn't like the date. I think so far all of y'all group dates have been stupid in my opinion. So yeah, so then all of the other girls come from the house who wasn't part of the day came to pretty much listen to everybody read their stuff. Matt, you did not come off sexy as all. This nigga said chocolate cake. That wasn't sexy. You're nobody's 50 Shades of Grey. And then all of the other girls came up and they read everything. Now Sarah's in the background having a whole fucking full heart attack. Oh my gosh, and I'm gonna get to it. But she's, oh my gosh, I just can't. I didn't understand that it would be this hard, and that I'm really gonna save all my comments, my true comments to Sarah at the end. Cause see, she's in the background having a whole heart attack about the whole situation. Like, I knew that he would be seeing other girls, but like after the connection with me and him, and let me be fair. I understand you going out with the man and you thinking that everything was cool with you, and then you find out maybe the next day that he's talking to somebody else. But the thing is, we're on The Bachelor. That is the whole point of the show. It bothers me the way that it bothers me about like Iyanla Fix My Life. Like, you know what Iyanla Fix My Life is about. You write into this show and ask to help you do the work. But then when you get there, you're fighting the entire process. But you know what this is about. So you should have never fucking came in the first place. Sarah's complaining. So then they go back off on their group date. The girls who wasn't on the group date goes home. Like I said, Sarah was not on the group date, so she goes home with the rest of the girls, and other girls go to the quote-unquote after party. So the first person that Matt talks to, again, this is why I'm so aggravated, is because and I gotta say allegedly, the first girl he talked to, Rachel, is racist. She has liked a lot of photos that has a lot of Trump shit in it. She has liked shit that has Confederate flags in it. And allegedly, a couple people said that when they was back in high school, she used to make fun of anybody who dated somebody that was black. Just saying. So I don't see it for her, period. Then he talked to Brie. I love Brie. I think Brie is cute or whatever. But I did put this in I'm sorry. All of the kissing in the middle of a panoramic is too much for me. But anyway, and he kisses with his eyes open. It's so weird. So, let me see. Hold on here. Okay, so then we get the last little date card or whatever for everybody else. and the date card or whatever is a one-on-one, and it's for Serena P. Now I told y'all, Serena P to me reminds me of Melissa Gorga from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't know why, but she really reminds me of her. So at this point, everybody is like, well, where the hell is Sarah? Like, we don't know what's going on with her. Like, she really hasn't been down here. She hasn't been around the other girls or nothing like that. So you switch over to Sarah, and Sarah is having a full meltdown because she is so, and I will give her this, she at least admitted that she was insecure, like in her confession. She ain't say to the girls, of course, but yes, you're insecure as fuck. You're very insecure, and like one of the girls downstairs said later, you're a grown woman, and you're so insecure that you can't even control yourself. That's the part that's so mind-boggling. You're a grown-ass woman, and because you're so insecure, you cannot control your actions or your fucking emotions. And you're as grown as you are. I don't understand. Make that make sense to me. Please the fuck do. And more than anything, what I don't understand, because did I put it up yet? I'm trying to see. So she ends up, I'll get to my point in a minute. So with her feeling all in her feelings about, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was just gonna be so hard, for me to see him around other women, and we just have such a great connection. Blah, blah. So she goes up, and mind you, Katie is in the middle of her one-on-one. She hasn't really had a one-on-one with him, since the first night. So she's in the middle of talking, and here comes Sarah like, oh, can I talk to him for a second? Now, of course, Katie is pissed the hell off because she's like, what? Like what the fuck is even going on? So she pretty much is sitting there talking to Matt about what she just pretty much said to him. Oh, well, I'm having a hard time with dealing with this whole thing. Like somebody said later, why are you acting like you're the only one that's having a hard time? You're not the only person that's having a hard time. Oh gosh, we'll get to it. You're not the only person having a hard time. And what's bothering me, and what's scary about the situation with Sarah, this is the most scariest part, is that she only went on one date with this nigga. If this was, I'm sorry, everybody talking about y'all being so mean to Sarah. Let's be real. If this was not The Bachelor, if you had a friend who went out on one date with a guy, and then the next day after that date, she is losing her fucking shit about the flip over cars, talking about how special of a connection they have, you're gonna look at your friend like she's crazy. If this was some shit on Jerry Springer, if this was some shit on Maury, where the girl came out and would be like, yeah, we went on one date together, and he has yet to call me back, and I don't know what it is that he's doing, y'all will call her insane. Y'all will call them crazy. So I don't understand, why is Sarah different? I don't care that this is The Bachelor. That is insanity. It is literal insanity for you to go on one date with somebody and then for you to feel as strongly as you do. You have deeper problems going on, and you definitely got some insecurities you need to fucking work on. That was my biggest problem. You went on one fucking date with this man. One date. You need help for real. Like, that ass, she really needs to go home and get some help for real. So when she's in the middle, like I said, so Sarah's in the middle of talking to Matt. So of course, Kitty goes downstairs and she tells the rest of the girls that she's up there. Now everybody's like, well, it must be something serious, if she will come in on a group date that's not hers and do that. So of course, Katie being, this is, like somebody said, this is a Katie stand account as far as I'm concerned. This channel will now stand for Katie because she came through this entire episode. First of all, my good sis came right back upstairs and was like, how much longer you got with him? Because I was in the middle of talking to him. And this is Sarah. Oh, well, no, I just want a few more minutes. This is why, this part of the reason why I don't feel bad for Sarah. Because you didn't feel bad. Even when Katie came back up there, if you really was genuine about your apology later, and you was really genuine about not doing too much, you would have been like, you want to know what? I'm so sorry. Yes, I got pretty much what I wanted to get off my chest, and you can have him back. My bad, so bad. You're like, no, can I just have a couple of more minutes? It'll be like 5 more minutes. So Katie's like, all right, I'm going to stand right there. Like the boss bitch that she is. That's right. If me and you trying to go back and forth over this man, if you think I'm gonna sit here and let you take this nigga right in front of me, you got another game. You got another thing coming. I'm not gonna sit here and willingly let you take this nigga from. Don't make me go Beyonce on you. So if I let you go, like, come on, like, she'll be damned if she let him go, okay? she began. So eventually, so so she comes back over. Katie's like, what's up? What's going on? So she's like, okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave now. I'll let you have your time. Can you walk me to the door? Can you walk me to the door? So he walks her to the door, whatever. Kisses her. She goes back to the room, or whatever. So no, so before she goes back to her room, she goes into the room where the other girls is that was on the group date and says, oh, I just wanted to come in here and apologize to y'all, and for me going up there to talking to Matt and stuff like that. It was just really, really important. And I do agree when the girls was like, okay, well, what was it about if it was so important? Like, oh, well, that's between me and him, because it wasn't nothing important. See, if you would have went up there and said, oh, well, I'm having a hard time with my dad, being away from my dad and stuff like that, and I just really didn't know who else to turn to or whatever, then you probably could have came downstairs and said that and said, hey, I'm having a family issue right now and I'm just having a hard time dealing with it. You're full of shit, Sarah. That's what it is. You're full of fucking shit. And all of them girls, they was right to go, and they like, well, it could, whatever it is, you could have waited. And that's the thing, sir. You didn't have to say right then and there. You could have waited, but you're being manipulative as fuck on purpose. Point blank, period. You being fucking manipulative on purpose. So then after that, when she goes outside and she's crying or whatever, here come Katie. I forgot. Victoria was talking to her first. Let me see where I'm at. And then Katie, comes up, because you're pretty much the one who really interrupted Katie shit. So Katie like I put on Twitter, Katie pulled up like, what's poppin'? Like, bitch, you interrupted me and my man on our date. Like, what was that about? Katie pretty much went in and let half on her. She went in and she let half. Like, you interrupted my date. It was rude as hell. You could have did that another time. Everything that I'm pretty much saying is what Katie said. Everything that Katie said was fucking valid. Everything she said was valid. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. I have in my notes, like, I'm tired of fucking Matt. I'm tired of Matt. You're letting... I'm just so fucking tired. I'm just so tired. And so then at the end, to make it even worse, you don't even come back in and apologize for her letting her take up your time and say, all right, so like, let's move on, let's go to the next person. You pretty much in your date at the end of that. Like, okay, well, I'm done. Here, Rachel. Here's Rose, because Rachel and Bree's pretty much the only one that you talked to, and you already went on a date with Bree, so of course you're gonna give the rose to Rachel. It's just so fucking annoying. Like, Matt, you're not using fucking common sense. You're not using common sense. And you're being extremely rude on top of that. That's what I'm talking about when I say you're literally throwing other people's feelings to the curb, and it comes off specifically like for these fucking white women, and it's very annoying. You said fuck how Marilyn feels, and fuck if anything that she said was true. I'm gonna make sure that Victoria is comfortable. This woman came and interrupted a date that she wasn't even fucking on. And instead of you doing the right thing would have been to come in that room, apologize for your time being taken up, and then continue on with your date. But no, you wanted to coddle that bitch and make her feel better, so you just ended it all the fuck together right then and there. You wasn't even mindful enough to think, well, in all reality, I did spend time with her versus the girls I was on a date with. That type of shit would turn me off to him, period. The whole way that Matt is handling all of these situations would make me not be attracted to him at all. At all. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. So then it's time for Serena P's, date or whatever. It's that day. Now, mind you, this is the next day. Sarah has yet to come downstairs at all. So when Matt comes in or whatever, he sits down, and it looks like he's about to address what happened last night. But then he realizes, oh wait, Sarah's not here. So getting what she wants, he goes upstairs to her room, knocks on her door, jumps all over the bed, spends all his time with her, and she's crying again like, oh, it's just so hard. And oh my gosh, y'all, this whole scene, I really wanted to flip my fucking computer, because you was giving her exactly what it is that she wanted. You're sitting there telling her that you want to make her feel so comfortable, and if that means you coming every single day to talk to her, to tell her that you care about her, then that's what you're gonna do. So my question to you, Matt, if that's how you feel, why don't you send everybody else the fuck home? Why don't you send everybody else home if that's how deeply you feel about her? That's a slap in the face of every other girl that's here for you to fucking say that. Because my thing is, would you really do that? Because if so, you're wasting everybody's time. And that is my main problem right there. Both Sarah and Matt, you're wasting everybody's fucking time. literally wasting everybody's time. So Matt, if you felt that strongly about her staying, and you would do all of that, send everybody else the fuck home. Send everybody else home. This is not, and I understand that this is a fucking competition, but at the end of the day, this is not make it all about me. This is not make it all about me. And I'm sorry because I got it in my notes and I'm going to say it again. Shit like this is why, and again, I'm not saying all, why a specific subset of white women in particular think all they have to do is fucking cry. They really believe all they have to do is cry. That's where we get the Karens of the world from. That's who they are. Thank you. I was trying to figure out the names. That's who they are. They're the Karens. Sarah is literally, she's a wonderful representation of the mindset of a Karen. A Karen thinks because I am white and because I'm a woman, because I have that privilege, all I have to do is cry, or all I have to do is complain. And it doesn't matter what anybody else wants to say. They're going to believe me. They're going to drop everything that they're doing to help me. It doesn't matter. And that's exactly what Sarah was doing. And outside of it, let's take it away from race or whatever. She was being manipulative as fuck. Manipulative as fuck throughout this whole thing. And Matt's so fucking dumb, he can't even freaking say it. He can't even see it. One date, Sarah. One date. One date. I don't understand how she has ever had any type of freaking, how have you ever sustained any type of, she has to be one of them girlfriends that you have, and like if she sees that you like the girl's like picture on Instagram, she's about to have a heart attack. Or if she see that you're following a girl on Twitter that's pretty, she's mad. Or if she see that that you like the picture of Kylie Jenner or something like that, she ready to jump off of a roof. That's the type of insecurity that you got. That shit is not cute. That it's not cute. And I don't understand how you as a grown woman expect to sustain a relationship having that type of mentality. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's unbecoming, like, for real. Be a grown-ass woman, like. So where we at with it? So they end up going, so he comes back down or whatever, and he doesn't even finish what he was saying. And he's like, oh, I know that was more than 5 minutes. And all of the girls was like, yeah, like, it's kind of not fair that she's cutting into Serena P time. And even Serena was like, yeah, like, it's supposed to be, like, my date. That's what I'm saying. I would find some shit like that. That type of shit would make me look at you, like, sideways. And if I was Serena P, when I was on that date, one of my questions would have been like, so I understand that Sarah came in and she cut off everybody yesterday. Then this morning you were supposed to come and just take me out, and for some reason you cut off and you went to go talk to her. Now I understand that people have emotions, like you said, and everybody is human. But my question is, if I continue on in this, is it gonna be a constant thing that you are going to drop me to go and make sure that she's okay? Because that's what's important. Are you going to put her feelings above mine? Because that's exactly what you're doing, Matt. You're putting her feelings and the way that she feels over everybody else. And if that's what you want to do, send everybody else home. But don't waste people's time. It's a slap in the face. Because again, it's kind of like to me, like when people are late or something like that. When people are late to something, it comes off like you feel like your time is more valuable than mine, and it's not. It's not. So they go horseback riding and stuff. Their date went fine. I just think I don't feel like Serena P. I don't know. I think Serena P is too young to be getting married. She's 22 years old. He's 27, and this is no shade. I'm 26, so, and I wouldn't even date nobody that's 22. That's just me. I just think that she's too young, personally. Because he even asked her like, oh, like, have you ever been in, like, what was your last real long-term relationship? I'm like, she's only 22. What extensive of a relationship could she ever really had? Like, the most she's probably had is maybe she was in high school, or if she had like a college type boyfriend or something like that. But what do you mean? She's not old enough to have an extensive relationship. And then Matt talking about he was messing with a girl for 4 months. Then she wanted to put a label on it, so he stepped back. So I'm fucking confused. If that was a year ago, and the girl just wanted to be your girlfriend because he said, oh, I don't want to date, I want to be married. So I'm confused. So you don't want somebody to be your girlfriend, you just want them to be your wife? So you want to go on a couple dates with somebody and then have them be your wife? I mean, if that's what you want, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Where we at? Because I haven't heard yet. So The date card comes, right? Now, mind you, Sarah been upstairs all fucking day. And this is where I have to go in on the people caping for Sarah. I don't care. Sarah stayed upstairs, like somebody said on Twitter. Maybe if Sarah would have, from the beginning, like she did with the girls in the group date, when that happened, if she would have just came downstairs from the get-go and just got it done and over with, we wouldn't even fucking be here. So she comes downstairs, and she lied to Matt again. This is what I'm talking about, being manipulative, because she lied to Matt. She came downstairs only when they got the date card. Then she came downstairs, and I don't even know if they read the date card, but after the date card was put away, then that's when all of the girls pretty much start going in. And I'm sorry, I feel like everything that everybody said was fucking valid. Now, of course, Victoria was doing the most, and I don't give a fuck. Everybody's like, oh, Victoria coming to come back when you know she's not, because she's just as trash. She was just trash as fuck a couple hours ago. So, I mean, at the top of this show, that doesn't change. She's still trash too. Both of them hoes is trash at the end of the day. But what everybody said is fact. You're talking about something you're having a hard time dealing with. You're not the only person. And I'm so tired of everybody talking about something. Okay, whatever. So everybody's going back and forth with her. Not going back and forth, but everybody's telling her what pretty much what they think about her. And people on Twitter like, oh, y'all did too much. That was ganging up on her. No, it was not. And this is how I look at it. I'm sorry. To me, it's just this simple. I felt two ways about it. Number one, you cannot slap me in my face and then tell me how to fucking respond to that. If I decide to punch you in your shit, it is what it is. Should have never slapped me. If I decide to take this TV and bust you upside your head, oh, well, you should have never put your hands on me. And number two, you cannot come for a whole group of people and then expect none of those group of people to come for you. And I'll keep it just this simple. If Sarah was to come into the room and smack every single last one of them in their face, all of them would be wrong for trying to jump on her? You came in a room and you are the one who purposefully set yourself up against a group of girls and then want to turn around and claim that you're being bullied. It don't work that way. And I want people, that's what I'm talking about in the real world. It don't work that way. You don't get to do whatever the fuck you want to do and then there's no consequences behind that. You offended 10, however many girls, you offended 5 of them, right? So guess what? All 5 of them have the right to say, I'm sorry, whatever it is that they want to say to you. That's just how this fucking go. That's how this go, okay? So then, she ends up going into her room, I think the next day or whatever, and sorry, this is my video about to cut off, so I gotta hurry up. But what one of the girls said is what I was pretty much trying to say. Why can't you just admit to us that you wanted Matt to give you validation about you staying? And I agree. One thing I will respect Victoria for is when Victoria went to go take that time for the other girls, she at least said, well, y'all not about to do it, so I am. You, Sarah, are trying to act like it's something else when it's not. You wanted validation from this nigga, and you could have just been real and be like, well, you want to know what? I wanted more time with him, and I just wanted, I wanted more of his attention, so it just is what it is. You should have sat in your shit. But anyway, so she goes into the room and she's crying. I think Katie comes in there, and Katie says she doesn't agree with how the girls handle it. I don't give a fuck. But then, Sarah is like, oh, well, it's the girls, and then I miss my father and all of this other stuff. And so then she ends up packing her bags, leaving, going over to Matt's house or whatever to tell him that she's leaving. And she lies. I want y'all to remember it. This is what she said to Matt. She said the girls in the house were really cruel. She said, I came downstairs to apologize to the girls, and all of them started being rude to me. That's a lie. That's not how that happened. That's not how that happened. You didn't come downstairs to apologize. See, you're flipping the story and you're manipulating it to make him feel bad for you. That's not what happened. You didn't come downstairs to apologize. That was everybody's problem. If you would have came downstairs and apologized, maybe the firing squad wouldn't have went in on you like that. But you came downstairs and tried to sit there and act like nothing happened. That's what I'm talking about, being manipulative and lying. So she ends up saying that she has to leave. She has to go. I'm glad that she's going. I think that she's probably going to come back. I feel like Matt's going to bring her back. But I'm sorry. If y'all don't want to watch me after this, I really don't care. But I'm so sick and tired of the shit that goes on this show. It's ridiculous. The manipulative. Matt is stupid. Like, that's a fact. Matt is not the brightest, like, crayon in a Crayola box. He's just not. And I'm fucking over this show. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be back next week, y'all. I'm so fed up. Like.